3:15. Okay, like I was saying here just a moment ago about Mark Cuban. All right. If I'm walking on the street, an African American neighborhood, and I see African American people outside cooking on the grill, talking about sports and whatnot, or having conversations, am I going to say, "Oh no, I'm not walking. I'm not walking on the street. I'm going to turn back around and walk on the other side of the street"? No, I'm going to continue walking on the street because I show respect to every African American out there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. That's what I am. All right. I'm a Hispanic person. I'm not racist. I never intend to be racist. But for Mark Cuban here, who's a native from Chicago, Illinois, that's a different situation. All right. So now he's talking about his own people here who are Americans. Okay. So he said if he sees any of you wearing tattoos, he's not going to walk by you. He's going to go walk on the other side of the street. How many streets can Mark Cuban walk on? I mean, seriously, how many streets can he walk on? I'm guessing 0. 0 sides of the walks. There's going to be one side of the street that maybe had potholes. Maybe we need some fixing. He won't be able to walk on that side there, so he's going to have to continue walking the same way he came from. Now, I don't care if it's late outside and you have to walk out there your dog. I don't care. I'm not going to be racist with African American people because I show respect. And like I said, I'll continue walking on that side of the street. That's what I always do. Now, if I see something suspicious, like a police standing up with the Dallas Police Department or somebody having a stroke or something, my intentions are to call 911 right away. You know? But I am not going to say I'm not going to walk around on the side of that street when I know I have to walk on the side of the street. Because I walk everywhere. Now, if I see dogs barking at me, small puppies, big puppies, I'm not going to say, "Oh, I'm not walking here by that street because that dog is going to attack me." Now, we all know for the fact that the owners here at Dallas have to keep those dogs on a leash. So that means if I'm walking by your street, dogs, the animals who can hear me, they don't talk. I'm walking by your territory, don't come in and bark at me. Just say hi to me. Simple as that, like every dog does. So, to me, obviously, with this situation with Mavs owner Mark Cuban, to me, it seems kind of acting like a little kid here, right? It's not trying to explain the problem with the African American people. Okay, if you see me wearing a Dallas Cowboys suit, Mark Cuban, are you not going to walk by the same street I'm walking by? Or are you going to just standing there, just watching me come by your street here in Dallas and say, "Oh, hey, what's going on, Mark Cuban?" Are you going to get scared of me because I'm wearing a hoodie? Are you going to call the police on me because I'm trespassing your property? No, I will not trespass your property. I'll wave at you, but that'll be it. And I keep moving right along, going right along about my business. Simple as that. So, obviously, the man's been seen, folks. I truly don't think Mark Cuban made any of those days, but if he did, will he get in trouble with the NBA? I really don't know. I really don't know. We will have to find out and see what happens from there on forward. How about that? Okay. China is 3:19 here, live on YouTube.com. And let's go ahead and talk some other stories about sports. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and give you some more updates on sports in just a moment here. But before we begin, let's go ahead and give you some previews of the games that we got going on later on today. You're live on YouTube.com. Bottom of the 8th inning now. Rangers lead the Tigers 9-2. Bottom of the 3rd. Rockies lead the San Francisco Giants 1-0. Later on tonight, 6:05. Nationals Pirates 6:05. Tribe taking on the Orioles 6:10. Brewers taking on the Atlanta Braves. And 6:10. Dodgers taking on Mets 6:15. Cardinals taking on the Diamondbacks 7:10. Yankees taking on the Chicago White Sox 9-10. Astros taking on the Seattle Mariners, and 9-10. The Chicago Cubs taking on the San Diego Padres, live from San Diego, California. So, as you may see here, folks, there is no question of a doubt that this young man, I truly don't know what's going on with him at this moment, because I myself is not so sure what's the plan to react to this problem. Okay, so we got another one here in just a moment here, and this is a story that we will read to you in just a moment here. It's another person now blabbing out about Mike Cuban, as you may speak. And to me, on this point, I'm really not going to explain any more than I can here, because I'm trying to, say in a good way, not be a problem with anybody. But obviously, as they may seen here, folks, that's not going to be the easy problem for any of us at this moment. Okay. So we're talking about last night's game live in San Antonio, Texas, and a lot of you are probably wondering what really happened. Well, let's see. Obviously, not a great solution to this problem. Also, not a great problem at all, because I technically didn't like it at all. So where do I go from here? Let's see here. Okay. Game something we played this coming up Saturday. I mean game 3, excuse me. They play this Saturday at 7:30 on ESPN Network, and listen to it live on watchespn.com. And then Sunday at 7:30 on TNT Network, live from Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the San Antonio Spurs. That'll be game 3 played this week. So, I am kind of wondering, where do we go from here with these teams? Because obviously, I got no shot of a doubt that this is something that's going to happen here, folks. 7:30 Saturday on ESPN, 7:30 Sunday on TNT. We know them. Listen to the NBA Finals live on ESPN Dallas 102.3 ESPN FM. So let's go ahead here and get to another story here just in a moment here. If y'all could just bear it with me here. Okay. So here we go in just a moment here. We're going to talk some more sports in a minute, but now we're going to move into some local news, shall we? I know the stories that we talked about yesterday were kind of, serious at some point, because truly those stories are the truthful way to say they are true. And I wouldn't speculate any more about it, because I'm not the type of person who continues talking about it, right? Time is 3:24. Bottom of the 8th inning, Rangers lead the Tigers 9-2 on Fox Sports Southwest. Watch the game on your local network. If needed, watch it. Okay. So, getting back to this, we'll tell you about the story here in just a moment, obviously. Alrighty. Let's see here. Okay. First, we're going to go start with news, shall we? That's what we'll start in just a moment. Once we get to news, I'll continue talking about these stories here in just a moment. And I will tell you what's truly going on here. We'll go with the weird news stories in just a moment here. Okay, so just bear with me here just a moment. We'll start with the crime news story, shall we? So we'll start. And then we'll continue from on forward with the rest of the other news stories here. So we'll go with our top news story. And this is here somewhere around the North Texas area. We'll get to it in just a moment here as soon as it pops up here. Now this picture I'm seeing, and folks, this is not a funny picture. Okay, this is a situation. We'll get to it here in just a moment here. Let's see. Okay, it looks like we can. Okay, here we go. Well, not really. Here we go in a minute. Just excuse us for just a second. We have got we'll talk about this other one also too. And a whole bunch of more stories here in just a moment. Just give me a second here for a moment, please. Excuse me for just a second. I'll reach into the store in just a moment here. Okay. Dallas, Texas. Police say the man who was naked when he drove through a car's open sunroof before assaulting a female driver has been formally charged with assault. It happened Friday evening near the corner of Zane Boulevard and Oakwood Street in Oak Cliff. From his apartment balcony, neighbor Marcus Payne shot video of Nicholas Dial, 23 years old, as he sat naked in the street below Payne. Through he was capturing the craziest thing he ever seen, until Dale came back into frame. And I quote, nude with no fear, Dale said, slid arms first into the open sunroof of a woman's car. A naked man jumped in and she told us, asking us to protect her identity. He jumped in my car and he started attacking me. Wow. Her emotional wounds are still raw. And I quote, he started choking me, pulling my hair, pulling my eyes, and I couldn't do anything, she said. As he crawled at her, the car skidded. Dallas police were there and tried to call Dale off her until they crashed. I don't know how much longer that attack would have lasted if the police weren't there, the woman said. Dale left in handcuffs for the hospital. Officers suspected he was on drugs. The victim's car has $300,000 worth of damage and she'll have to pay for herself. But that's not the worst part. I feel more afraid and more aware of everything around me, like a prisoner, she said. On Thursday, Dallas police confirmed that Dale had been arrested and charged with a Class A assault and felony criminal mischief. Now, North Texas, is it just me, or does this city get any weirder and weirder? How in the world here in our area here in Dallas, Texas, how do you allow a 23-year-old grown-up man running around naked? That's crazy. And on top of that, he was wearing no clothing. Listen here, my brother. What you should have done is wear clothing and cover yourself. Nobody wants to see your skin here, but obviously he did not think about that. And on top of that, he started assaulting the poor female driver. I would feel scared. Really. It's not safe anywhere around North Texas. I'll tell you that right now here, folks. Really, it's not safe at all, period. I just think to these types of consequences, we really got to understand, though, folks. This isn't the type of solution or the problem of the solution is solved. This poor female driver in North Texas is very lucky. One, he started pulling her hair, then pulling her eyes. What was she trying to do? Eat her up? I don't know. I really don't know. Okay. So here we go with our next story here in time now is 3:30. Temperature outside in Dallas, 85 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Presented by the new 2014 Honda Accord LEX automatic sedan, starting at $199 a month. For more, visit your North Egg NXTX Honda Dealers.com. That's NTXHondaDealers.com. Here we go with our next story here. Our next top story. This happened in South Oak Cliff. We'll tell you in what corner here in just a moment. Time is 3:31 here live on YouTube.com. This is a very odd story here. It happened in South Oak Cliff. I'm not so sure what happened there. I'll read to you here in just a moment, if you do excuse me here for just a moment. As soon as we... It was presented by Got Pest. We have a solution. Call today. Garland, Texas at 972-325-1398. That's 972-325-1398. For more, go to bugheadpestcontrol.com. Dallas, Texas. And just excuse me for just a second once again. And just excuse us for just a second here. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Hold on just a second, folks. One thing I'm having problems also here too also. I'm setting this up on just a moment here. Okay. Well, excuse me for just a second here. Okay, here we go. Dallas, Texas. Just a second, please. I will read you the story here in just a moment. Okay. Finally, we got some control of this problem here. All right, here we go. Dallas, Texas. Police said one person was murdered and 3 others were shot outside a tire store in Oak Cliff on Wednesday night. It happened around 8 p.m. at Dub House Wheels Tires inside the Big T Plaza Shopping Center off of Interstate 35 near Ann Arbor. 2 of the surviving victims had superficial wounds. Paramedics took a 3rd person to Parkland Memorial Hospital. The victims came to get their windows tinted, and when at least 1 person opened fire at them, relatives say. The deceased man is 27 years old. His mother told News 8 that she said she thought the murder was the result of a long-standing feud with the former neighbors dating back in 2008. And I quote, He just didn't like us, he said. Said he would kill us. My son ran to the fact there were children in the car. I have 18 grandkids, they said. They didn't care who they killed, said Antoinette Burley Wiltshire. Investigators did not immediately identify a suspect. It's uncertain if civilian cameras captured the crime. More than 100 people gathered at the scene afterwards. A fight broke out in the crowd, leading police to make an arrest. Another woman apparently fainted, requiring another ambulance to respond to the scene. Wow. That is very crazy at this point. Obviously you cannot be too safe in your own neighborhoods here in Dallas, and this is not the first time we had these types of shootings in recent years. or recent weeks, if I may add. Uh, to me, this has seemed kind of typical because you don't allow these type of issues to happen here, folks. You really don't. I wouldn't allow being out there in the middle of the night and getting wounded. Like I said a couple of years ago, bullets still continue to have no names, folks. They continue not to have no names at all, period. So I really, don't know what's very much going to happen now. If this issue continues to happen, then where do we go from here? That's my problem because really, this isn't the first time this happens. Obviously, this is not the first time. So let's go back again to our crime page here in just a moment here. We had a story popping out of Denton County here involving a teacher and something. So we're about to go to the story in just a moment here. So just give me some quality time here. If we can find it. Okay, here we go. This one has to do with two schools actually, one in Keller, ISD, and one in Denton, ISD. We'll tell you about these stories here in just a moment. Why don't we take a quick break here, and coming up next, I'll tell you about these stories when I come back live on YouTube. Doc, coming back next. Not at all. That's right. That's uncalled for. Jimmy, folks who save hundreds of dollars switching to Geico sure are happy. How happy, right? Happier than Gallagher at a farmer's market. Get happy, get Geico. 15 minutes could save you 50% or more. Ronnie, folks who save hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico sure are happy. How happy? He does look happy. Get happy. Get Geico insurance. Ronnie, folks who save hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico sure are happy. How are they, Jimmy? Happier than Christopher Columbus would suppose. That's happy. Get happy. Get Geico. 15 minutes could save you 50%. And do excuses for just a second here, folks. As soon as we get our news page run, I'll continue talking to you with the local news story here in just a moment. Alright, first we'll start in Denton County. That's Denton, Texas. We'll tell you this story here in just a moment. As soon as our story continues here. Time is 3:39. Thank you for joining me here live on YouTube.com. This is Coropal Martinez, as always, joining you on this beautiful, beautiful Thursday. May 22nd, year 2014. A couple of days for summer for the kids to be out for finally and enjoy the great summer vacation. Hopefully, summer you do get some summer jobs during this summer. And of course, for those who are traveling out of the country, please be careful and come back safe and sound for next semester. This is from Coropal Martinez saying, I'm going to congratulate all of you, the new DISD students from class of 2014. Congratulations to you. You graduate next weekend here in the entirely Dallas-Fort Worth area. So here I go. Fort Worth, Texas. A former Denton High School teacher facing child porn charges won't get out of jail anytime soon. Greg Bolton, 38 years old, had a hearing in federal court on Wednesday. He is accused of using the K Messenger social media app to ask teenage boys for explicit pictures. Wow, this is an odd story. Attorneys for the Fort Worth man trying to get him released with a GPS tracking device, but the judge ruled that Bongoma must remain behind bars. During the same hearing, Homeland Security agents testified that Bogomil admitted to having passed complaints from students at schools where he taught. A family tracked down by News 8 said there were red flags as far as back as early 2004. The family accuses Bogomil of having an inappropriate relationship with their then sixth grade student where he attended Bergen Elementary School in Arlington, Texas. One day, please, students, seniors, if you're at home listening to me, please make sure you have no little kids with you there. Appreciate it. Thank you. One day, Bogomil pulled his pants down. Another day, he touched his privates with the ruler and asked if he knew how to use them. The boy's father told News 8. The family asked not to be identified. Okay, we understand that. An official police report was never filed, but the family said it reached an agreement with Arlington ISD to help send their child somewhere elsewhere. The district said on Wednesday that Bogoma was only a teacher with them for a short time during 2003-2004 school year, and that he reassigned. We wanted to move on, said the father. My son went from A's and B's to G's and F's. He said investigators reached out to the family just this week to find out more about the decade-old allegations. Homeland Security has already called my son and talked with him about it, the father said. A federal complaint detaining the recent charges that landed Bogoma behind bars states that the parents of a 15-year-old Louisiana boy reported he was solicited via cell phone to send new photos, and the teen complaint investigator said the cell phone account led to Bogoma, and who allegedly particulated himself online as a girl. So allegedly means these accusations are against Bogoma. Our next top story here is from Keller ISD. We'll tell you what happened in Keller in just a moment, which is Parker County. In just a moment, here live on YouTube.com once again. Now this one, folks, this was an Amber Alert report. In a minute here, we'll tell you what really happened there in just a moment here, as soon as we get the facts straight here with our page. You know, I really don't understand how can we trust teachers from all the districts here in North Texas. How can you trust a teacher when a teacher is trying to take advantage of you? Obviously, to me, as it may seem, folks, if you're going to be teaching the students, teachers next semester, which is the month of August, please remember, teachers, do not be preying on young little kids, on young minor children, or on teenagers at all, period. Keep your hands to yourself, all school teachers in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We had too many cases going out about child pornography. That is very disgusting, and perverts out there don't seem to understand at all. Okay. Here I go with the next story here live on YouTube.com. Keller parents of students in the Keller Independent School District are being warned after 2 attempted kidnappings were reported near elementary schools within 1 week. Keller ISD said a man in a red truck tried to lure a little girl near Woodland Springs Elementary around 4 p.m. Wednesday, telling the child that her mother was in the hospital. On May 13, Cap Rock Elementary, a child reported a similar incident while walking home from school. Beth Elbert drove her 7-year-old son to school. Others, like A.J. King, escorted his 8-year-old to the entrance door. He says it's a real life lesson in a stranger danger for Aiden, a second grader. They're tracking people, and I don't want to get tricked. I hate to get tricked, Aiden said. The suspect may be driving a red two-door Ford pickup truck with mud on the bottom of a dark-colored Nissan pickup. One witness said the suspect is a man in his 30s, 40s, with short brown hair. He was wearing a blue tank top and had 3 crosses inside circles tattooed on his right shoulder. The Killer School District said on its website Thursday that 4 security vehicles have been added to the campuses to patrol a safe corridor. They will be in place until police say otherwise. KISD officials released the following safety tips for the parents and students to follow. Don't talk to strangers. If someone you don't know tries to talk to you, run away. If they follow you, keep running and yell, "Stranger, danger!" Tell a grown-up you trust immediately. Walk to and from school with a group of people. Don't accept rides without first getting permission from your parents. Don't take shortcuts. Take a route you agree on with your parents and use main roads. Don't let people know if you're going home alone. Keep your house key hidden. Parents, help your children make a list of safety places that you can go for help and that you're on their walking route. Don't leave school with anyone without checking with officials first. That is an important thing, students out there in the entirely Minneapolis area. If you see an unknown suspicious vehicle, a person that you don't know, please, students of DISD and ISD around North Texas, do not talk to these people. These people can be known as child predators for all we know. They can be asking you for a picture of yourself or whatnot. They can be maybe asking you what street you live on. Do not communicate with these people. You keep running, you say, "Stranger, danger, stranger, danger, stranger, danger." And parents, make sure you have your cell phones on to call your child, say, "Hey, I'm here waiting for you outside the front of your school entrance." Do not let them walk alone. Kids, always walk a group of other people that you know from your local neighborhood in North Texas. And please, kids, stay safe as always. Okay. That's a very weird story here. Okay. Now, this weird story is sounding to me, this is the worst weird story ever. All right? And obviously, this is not the right type of opinion I was asking for eventually, but there's something I can do about it, right? So here I go in just a second. Okay. Wait an hour for. Wow, this is very boring. Dude. Moment here. Like I said, I hate having these problems again with my pages that seem to kind of act up as we speak. And as soon as we get it solved, I'll continue reading the story here in just a moment, alright? But you know, folks, remember this, kids. Do never, ever, ever talk to strangers. Always follow the rules of your parents. Parents, make sure you're there with your children. If you want to walk into high school, fine. Walk them inside. Don't ever allow them to walk alone. If they're old enough and they know how to defend themselves, kids, carry you paper mace or something to protect yourselves from the danger, because we have a lot of cases where people who go to the schools, obviously we know what they're looking for, is to be preying on innocent children, on innocent teenage children, okay? Please remember, folks, this is not the type of solution they were trying to prevent from happening at this point. Okay? Well, this is involving a Texas team, and I'll tell you why this is happening as soon as we get here. Now, this story may surprise me and it may surprise all of you, but this is the truth. We'll tell you where it started at here in just a moment. I think I know where this happened at here. Now, folks, if you make desserts at home and don't know what the heck you're doing, or don't know what type of ingredients you're going to use, listen to this story here live on YouTube.com. Temperature outside in Dallas, 85 degrees under mostly cloudy skies and sunny, of course, as always. Okay, here we go. Round Rock, Texas. A Central Texas teenager charged with selling brownies laced with marijuana and hash oil is facing a punishment that could include life in prison. 19-year-old Jacob Levado was arrested in April when Round Rock police searched his apartment and found the 15 pounds of browns. Authorities say hash oil is a controlled substance with much harsher state penalties than marijuana. The oil has higher contaminations of the psychopathic component of marijuana, and it's in a pantry group with amphetamines and ecstasy. Police said he found over $1.675 in cash, 16 ounces of marijuana, and a cell phone detaining drug transactions. Travis McDonald, the William County prosecutor handling the case, says the sentencing range is 5 to 90 years or life in prison, but sentences can depend on aggravating factors and other considerations. Wow. So Mr. 19-year-old Central Texas teen decides he can put pot on desserts. Wow, what a dumb move there, man. Really. Folks, we do not do this. We don't do this. How are you going to eat a chocolate brownie that you made at home when you're putting pot inside an illegal substance called ecstasy, known as marijuana? Just excuse me. And looks like I'm having a problem here also with my computer. Just a second here, please. This is the very odd, if you may add, where teenagers just decide to add anything they want to the brownies here. Don't get me wrong, folks, but really, you really don't want to be using marijuana. Did they know about you adding pot to the brownies? Because this is hypothetical when a person like this tries to do things he's not supposed to do. Now, unfortunately to me, as it may seem here, folks, this ain't the right type of person, I'll tell you now. It's the type of person you want to be dealing with because of a dumb situation. So I think he made a dumb move. I'll say that right now. He made a very dumb move of adding marijuana to the brownies. You do not do that. This is crazy when you're adding drugs to the candy that we eat or that we chew on or whatnot. And speaking of marijuana, I don't understand how the state of Florida, the state of Colorado, the state of California, the state of Arizona, and Nuevo Mexico allows drugs, allows to legalize marijuana. What are you trying to do here? Trying to make people get sick or maybe die from this substance? I truly don't see. This is not healthy here, folks. This is very, 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 very odd and very disgusting. And for one, once again, I am appalled with this situation. Well, Tanya, it's about to be getting close to the 4 o'clock hour here. Let's go to our national news story there, shall we? As I was saying yesterday about the parent who beat up her 2-year-old son with the belt because of potty training problems, as I say once again, mothers, please be patient with your 2-year-old child. Just be patient with them. Do not hit them with the belt. Kids, if your parents already hit you because you don't know how to use the bathroom, please make sure to call 911 right away. That's all you need to do. You call 911 and you'll be safe from your local authorities around the globe. Okay. So let's see here. Let's see, where do I want to go here? Yes. Apparently, this story here, I'll tell you about here in just a moment. Now we got some other problems with their casting movers of the Shield. We'll get to that in a moment, but here we go with kidnapping suspects. Lawyer says charges are lies. Well, this is a very odd story. And it took them 100 years to find this person. More than 10 years, excuse me. Okay. Here we go. Santana, California. The attorney for a man charged with adopting a California teen 10 years ago and forcing her into marriage says her claims of physical and sexual abuse are lies made up because the couple is breaking up. Attorney Charles Frisco said Thursday outside a brief court hearing that his client, Asario Marando Garcia, denies all the allegations, never hit his wife, and would never have prevented her from leaving. Garcia was charged early Thursday with 5 felony accounts, including rape and kidnapping to commit a sexual offense. The woman, now 25 years old, came forward this week and told police that Garcia had abducted her and then through physical, mental, and sexual abuse, kept her from reuniting with her family since 2004 disappearance. Wow. The lawyer says the suspect is lying. I'm kind of wondering what is going on here, because this story does not add up to me. Or is this story an odd case where her getting adopted and kidnapped and getting sexual abuse with this guy? I'm not so sure what is the problem with this case. I truly don't get it. Or do I understand it? No. I seriously don't understand it. Because clearly to me as it may act, how are you going to figure it out where? No, I I don't know. I don't know. Alright, so here we go with the next one here. This continues in California. So now this one here is a different one here also. We'll get to in just a moment here. This was posted today earlier at 2:06, presented by a historic Honda event, starting $190 a month. For more, go to ntxhondadealers.com. It's ntxhondadealers.com. It's your North Texas Honda dealers today. So, to me, folks, as you may add, this is very, very odd. It really is. And I just don't get how you do this. You know, it's very odd. It really is. Okay. Now, this one here is a different one. Now, this one's coming out of the dark area here. I'm thinking this is here today, or I'm not for sure when this happened. I'll tell you here in just a moment. Looks like it probably was. Oh, this happened a couple weeks ago, actually. It happened here in Dallas. We'll tell you the story here in just a moment as soon as we get our page here working. And I'll continue it in national news again in just a moment. Because that's the way it's supposed to be. Right? Okay. Dallas, Texas. 6 people were hurt Saturday night when a dark bus was rear-ended by a car. The bus was stopped at the corner of Great Trinity Crossway and Stone Sport Drive when the passenger said the sedan crashed into the back end. 6 people in the car were taken to local hospitals. No one on the bus was injured. On Thursday, 7 people were injured when a dark green line train hit a flatbed trailer at a crossing near the Farmers Branch station. Wow, this is very odd when this type of sedan hits a vehicle, large 18-liter vehicle, because you know better not to go behind the buses when they got the stop signs. Warning, please keep yourself behind me or look both ways, and the drivers always look both ways, actually, apparently. Time is 4:03 here live on YouTube.com. Thank you very much once again for joining me here on this beautiful Thursday afternoon, May 22nd, year 2014. Thank you very much, Dallas and Fort Worth, Chicago, Illinois. Thank you very much for joining me. How about that? Okay, this one is a different one. We'll tell you right now in just a moment what really happened there in somewhere, I don't know where around the globe. They're publishing them on the show that comes on Tuesdays called Shield, and this is a different place that happens here. All right, here we go. Los Angeles, California. Prosecutors charged actor Michael Jakes, who played a police officer in the TV hit series The Shield, with the murder on Thursday and the shooting death of his wife in her Los Angeles home. Jakes, 51, could face 50 years to life in state prison if convicted. April Jakes, 40, was shot multiple times and was found dead in a hallway of the family home in the quiet, modest Hyde Park neighborhood of Los Angeles, California. Police recovered a handgun believed to belong to her husband. Jakes is being held in lieu of $2 million bail, was scheduled to appear in court on Thursday for the first time. No motive for the killing has been disclosed. Detectives were investigating whether the couple's financial problems or other marital difficulties played a role in the killing that police said also occurred during an argument Monday night. While the couple's 2 sons, both under ages 10, were in the house, they were placed with relatives. Jakes called emergency dispatcher, said he shot his wife and was at the home when officers arrived. Police Detective Dan Benelin has said The Netherlands said there had been no reports of domestic violence at the home. However, the actor has been under financial pressure in recent years, and he declared for bankruptcy in 2011 and had been delinquent on payments as recently as December. Jace is known for his role as an LAPD officer, Julian Lowe. The Shield, he also appeared on the show Sutherland and had small roles in the movies Planet of the Apes, Boogie Nights, and Forrest Gump. Wow, this is a great actor and everything, but what happened? He murdered his wife. And his wife was only 40 years old. He was, what, 51 years old? So this man was married to a 40-year-old mother of her two sons, ages 10 years old. Wow. And now they come to think of it, if convicted, he could face lifetime in prison. Wow. That is very, very, very odd scenario here, folks. And I just truly think for the best of it, this should have never happened in the first place. I'll tell you that right now. So let's talk about the NBA here, shall we? Not ever moving on forward. Time is 4:06. And clearly to me, as you may see, last night I thought the Oklahoma City Thunder were going to win this game. And no, they lost last night. 112 to 77. 112 to 77. My goodness. As Kevin Durant lost his left in the tank. The adrenaline in the tank. Because he has no energy here. No Ibaka. No protection in the paint. And they got to play Sunday at 7:30 on TNT. And you can see the game on ESPN Dallas. 110.3 ESPN FM. So my question to be, who will go to the NBA Finals next month on ABC? And ESPN Dallas, 102.3 FM. 102.3 FM. ESPN Denver, 102.3. ESPN Nueva York, 98.7. WEEI, ESPN Boston, ESPN Chicago, 1000. ESPN LA, 710. ESPN LA, 850. Univision Radio America. Well, let's figure this out here for a moment, shall we? Okay, I'm probably thinking here today, Thursday, May 22nd, year 2014, is that maybe it's going to be San Antonio Spurs versus El Miami Heat for the fourth time. Who wins the championship? San Antonio. Now, I'm going to talk about which teams will probably make it to the NBA playoffs next season, 2015. Let's go ahead and talk about those teams, shall we? I guess we all know the fact that we all understand here that this is a problem that I want to be discussing here, but I'm going to go ahead and start with the Southwestern Conference here and see which teams are likely to go to the playoffs in just a moment.
Ya agarra que tiene hermano que tanto. No, que no me nada.
Okay. Okay, but okay. Time is 4:12 here live on YouTube.com. Thank you very much for joining me here. Let's go ahead and talk about the NBA teams that will make it to the playoffs for next season 2015. We'll start with the Southwestern Conference teams. I'm going to say if the Dallas Mavericks do make the playoffs for next season 2015, I think they'll be the player contender. I don't see Houston making the playoffs next season 2015, the Grizzlies or the Pelicans. The Spurs, they have another chance to make it to the playoffs next season 2015. From the Athletic League, I don't see the Celtics doing it. Brooklyn does make it. The Knicks don't make it. The Sixers don't make it. The Raptors don't make it either. The Golden State Warriors don't make it. The Clippers don't make it. The Lakers don't make it. The Suns don't make it. The Kings don't even go anywhere at all, period, for next season. But in the center, the Chicago Bulls don't make it. They won't make it either. The Cavaliers won't make it either. The Pistons won't. Pacers might. The Bucks don't make it to the playoffs. The Southeastern Conference, Atlanta Hawks do make it. The Charlotte Hornets, Miami Heat, the Magic don't make it. Wizards do make it. For the Northwest, Denver doesn't make it. The Timberwolves don't make it. Oklahoma City does. Portland and Utah do not make the NBA playoffs 2015 for next season. They do not make the playoffs at all, period. That's the way I see things here live on YouTube.com. This has been Coropal Martinez. It's been a great afternoon. See you tomorrow. TGIF Friday. Until next time, see you then. Thank you.